The first thing I want to talk about is just camp, where it is, and what kind of unique circumstances we'll find ourselves in based on its geography. So as you may know, Camp Emerald Bay is on Catalina Island. It is one of many Channel Islands off the coast of Southern California. We are just about an hour and 20 minutes by catamaran, by ferry boat from San Pedro and Long Beach. So it's not far, but it feels like a beautiful rural natural space. It is within Los Angeles County lines. It's considered Los Angeles County, so you're not leaving Southern California or LA. As we talk a little bit about that unique geography, I'll bring up some of the key talking points that I have found in my experience doing this meeting. And number one is, yes, we are very rural and slightly isolated from all those who live on Catalina and those of you who live here in Southern California. With that said, we actually have great response in emergencies. This is a big one that parents ask me about. We are served by the Los Angeles County Fire Department. They have a station, a fire station, as well as a medic station in Two Harbors, which is the closest town to Emerald Bay. It's only about 3 miles by water and 7 miles by dirt road. So you can imagine that in an emergency situation, the LA County Fire Department will be responding via boat. They use a lifeguard Baywatch boat, very similar to the white and orange one that you'll remember from TV. Their response time in most cases is 10 to 12 minutes when we make the serious call direct to them. So in fact, can be better than some urban situations. The LA County Fire Department has a great history of serving the whole west end of Catalina. In the rare event that we would need to transfer someone to the mainland for medical treatment, we do have a helicopter pad in camp. We're one of the only camps on the island that has our own serviced helipad, and it's used for recreation and VIP visits as well as potential evacuation situations. So we do have capability to do that, to go to Long Beach Memorial or other hospitals on the mainland if that comes up. Some other really cool things that come with our rural location on the west end of Catalina are the broad array of wildlife that we will be able to see and commingle with. We don't have an excess of dangerous predators or mammals or anything of the sort. In fact, the largest mammal on the island is the bison, is sometimes commonly called a buffalo. There's a herd of around 200 bison on the island. We will very likely not see them at Emerald Bay. That's because there's a lot more space for them to graze and live on the larger southeast side of the island, but there are 4 or 5 loner bison that could cruise through camp and create an incredible photo opportunity. With that said, we keep as far as we can away from those type of animals. They don't normally disturb our program or safety in any way. The reason I brought up animals isn't just to brag about the cool stuff you'll see, we'll get there, but also just to tell you about how to manage some of the things that you may want to bring to camp. A lot of people tend to ask about bringing food to supplement the food service that we provide. It is not necessary. Black and white from management to you, we plan to serve you 3 hot meals a day, supplemented by full salad bars, yogurt oatmeal bars in the morning. We also have instant oatmeal and fresh fruit available 24/7, as well as coffee and tea for adult leaders, again, 24/7. So you don't need to bring any food. You do not need to plan to bring any food, but some still will. And the warning is, the foxes, the birds, and the insects will find your food. Please, if you bring any food to Emerald Bay, plan on it being behind 2 layers of packaging at least. I recommend resealable bags combined with a plastic tote if you're going to bring food. Again, you will not need it. Not only do we serve all that food, but we have a general store in camp that sells snacks and knickknacks and things like that. Along with that rural, beautiful island that we described, We do have one of the most picturesque waterfronts, I think, in the BSA, where we snorkel, scuba dive, sail, all of the above. And it is our interest to make sure that we treat the environment around camp with care. So as I mentioned throughout this meeting, what you can expect from camp, please keep in the back of your mind that we, hopefully even more than the rest of the BSA, are concerned for conservation, ecology, and conservation as a theme in everything that we do in camp. So we'll transition to the to the fourth page of this packet, which is our camp map. And I really apologize for those of you at home who can't see this very clearly. Please, if you receive the email from us with our Spring Leaders packet, follow along with me. I am specifically going through this packet, and even when I hand it over to Barbara, we will have some supplementary images here, but she still has pages out of this packet that we're guiding you through. That's the Spring Leaders packet that was sent over email. Take a look at this camp map, and camp is actually as linear as it looks here. The waterfront is at the bottom. The waterfront referring to the ocean, the beach, where you enter and exit camp in the beginning and end of your session. Also where the vast, all of our waterfront water-related merit badges meet and a lot of our activities. But starting from the waterfront, starting from the bottom, one of the biggest areas in camp that we'll muster, that we'll meet, that activities will start from is the parade ground. You'll see that circled or in a rectangle with rounded corners. That's where we muster for flag ceremony, breakfast, and dinner. And we also line up the same way for lunch. We just don't do a flag ceremony during lunch. We do expect to have announcements before every single meal at camp, with an exception of the first arrival lunch. There will be announcements, and there will be staff supporting the program schedule on your arrival day Sunday. You'll rotate into lunch without general announcements. Only arrival lunch on Sunday. And the dining hall there, of course, is just along the top edge of our parade ground. As you look up through camp, you'll notice a lot of central buildings located in the front and center in camp, and those surround a paved area. We call it the pavilion. That area is different from the rest of camp in that there are paved stepping stones all throughout. It cuts down on dust, and it helps to have an area where we can control our scouts and make sure that they're not running around like crazy, playing frisbee games and fooling around with each other on those pavers. That's what the parade ground is for, outside of announcement times, as well as the campsites. As you pass our handicraft building and our ship store in the center of camp, you enter the campsite portion of camp. There are lots of merit badge classroom areas and program areas back there, but that is really where our campsites begin. And to put it into perspective, the distance from the waterfront here and what we call the backcountry and nature area is most definitely less, it's no more than a quarter mile. It's not very difficult to navigate. It is a slight incline from front to back, but it is quite easy to move between a merit badge on the waterfront and a merit badge in nature in just about 10 minutes at a walking pace. On the left side of this map, you'll see the campsite names at the top. That'll help you to see where your troop is assigned in a campsite once you arrive to camp, where other troops may be. If some of your scouts are in separate programs, it's rare, but they could be in separate programs that cause them not to stay with you in camp. That just lists all of our campsites on the left. And under that, added not too long ago, is a list of all the merit badges that we offer based on where they are. So the building or the area in camp that you can find these badges, they're all listed underneath the header of their location in camp. Here in the room, does anyone have any questions physically about camp looking at this? I will get into travel and packing details pretty soon here, but again, it's not too much of a trek from front to back. The whole camp, including the hillsides, the pathway to the field sports area, and the garden and hillsides to the main road, is 66 acres. So it is a pretty awesome medium-sized camp as far as the BSA is concerned.
Do you have a list somewhere where the campsites are broken down as to how many beds per campsite?
We do not have a public list of that, and that's because it changes week by week. Because we want to make sure that troops never have to split up, we won't assign the campsite that you're in until you arrive to camp. And that's because the previous week we'll probably shift tents and those numbers will change. But you can still make a request to us through our special request form to ask for a particular area in camp. So looking at this, you can refer to our campsites by number or by their name. If there's one you like from the past or one that's close to resources that you may need for medical or any other reason like that with your scouts. Any other questions physically about camp before we move on? I'll make a point of asking for questions as we turn each page, and please feel free to ask them. The next page then is the beginning of the what to bring category. This is very important. This first page, very important for everyone coming to camp, not just the adult leaders. The first half of it is explaining items that you may or that we highly recommend that you do not bring as far as troop gear is concerned. Please think of Emerald Bay as a bit unique when it comes to the equipment that your troop needs to have a great week. And that's because you're slightly restricted by the transportation to camp. You won't be able to bring the huge patrol boxes that take 2 people to carry. You won't need that cooking gear. We're not allowed to use open fire in our campsites. We'll hit that point again later as well. But don't plan on bringing big patrol boxes. Don't plan on having things that are just in your car in case you need them, because your car is going to be in mainland California. And my #1 recommendation for troop gear and personal gear is if your troop can't carry everything you brought in one load, then you are bringing too much. So carrying personal gear on your back or dragging it behind you and helping the troop with troop gear, but still just one trip, because the idea of loading on the boat, getting more things and loading them on the boat a second time is just not realistic. In the same way, arriving to camp, you're not going to be able to track your things and run back and forth and get them. A lot of times, someone else is going to be helping carry your gear off the boat. So if we have too much second round gear, it's not going to work. So with that said, you can bring a troop flag, you can bring an American flag, but don't bring a flagpole. We provide those in the campsites that allow you to host your troop flag or patrol flag up there without having to carry the large pole. You're certainly invited to bring things like fishing gear, especially because we don't have fishing gear for rent or borrow. It would be totally a free time activity. There isn't much programming built around something like fishing, but again, bring that as long as you can carry it in one trip on a boat. We'll get into the details of snorkel and scuba gear later on. The majority of that gear can be provided by our camp and program. Some of the other troop gear here, I'm not going to list them all for you, but look through these as leaders and implore, if you're the registrant and not the scout leader who's going to be in camp, make sure you inform them to really look at this list. Leaders should bring things like notebook, paper, pens, potentially a way to communicate with parents back at home. We do have the option of charging areas and Ethernet hardline internet for laptop computers for professionals and people who need to communicate back home. We have a sort of a leader's lounge that we call the Helm, where things can be left to charge. We even provide 3 to 5 PCs that are hooked up to internet just for leaders and staff. So with all that in mind, pack accordingly, make sure you have what your troop needs to be in touch with families and to get everything done in camp. You will not need to bring things like picnic tables, bunks and mattresses, shade structures, fire suppressant things like extinguishers or trash barrels. We will provide all of those things. We've got a bulletin board permanently fixed in every campsite, etc., trash cans, picnic tables, and whatnot. So you won't need to bring any of those things. I won't go through all the individual items on the individual packing list, but I will highlight something that Linnea did that really helps. If you look at the individual items, you'll notice that about 10% of them have asterisks by them. Those are ones where we promise we will provide those things for sale in our store in case people can't carry them or forget them. So we will have things in our store like sweatshirts and jackets, soap and shampoo, small backpacks, water bottles, scout knives, and batteries. We carry those things in the store, so if you have to lighten your pack, look for those asterisks and you can plan on getting those things from us. But please pack them if you're able. Everyone will need a sleeping bag and a pillow if they require it for comfort. We do provide cots and mattresses in every tent, but we do not provide bedding. So make sure everybody has a sleeping bag or some sort of significant bedroll that they can use. It doesn't get excessively cold at Emerald Bay in the summer. I imagine from day and night, the total temperature swing will be at the very coldest in the high 50s, mid-high 50s, and at the very hottest, the mid-low 90s. It's a very mild to warm place in the summer. You should definitely have everyone bring at least a sweater. Of course, a scout's always prepared with minimal rain gear, but make sure everyone has something to sleep in, a sleeping bag. Do you have anything to add off of that? Yes. Let me take his question and I will go straight to that. That's right. We don't expect everyone to bring a ground pad. Some folks will get creative and have something very light to be honest, most scouts will put their sleeping bag directly on sand. As you phrased the question, I will say that I recommend leaders to all bring a very small sleeping pad for that exact situation, but every scout will not need one. A lot of them will have fun being in the sand, and a sleeping pad would really only serve to protect a sleeping bag that maybe was very high end and you didn't want it to be in the sand. But most scouts will sleep directly on the beach. Scout leaders, a very, very light sleeping pad for war canoe is recommended. And Linnea reminded me here to bring up some of the things that we can provide to make your trip to and from camp easier. We have lanterns for rent. It's like $5 or less. It's very affordable. They're all battery powered. Again, we don't want any fire in camp. It's a very dry desert climate, even though it's on an island surrounded by ocean. And we want, please, no fuel canisters, white gas, propane, any kind of fuel canisters like that are not allowed. For one, in the boats that are taking us to camp, and two, in camp for fire danger. So please, battery-powered lanterns, or rely on us. We can rent you a battery-powered lantern for $5 so you can use throughout the week. We also have locks and lockers available in camp. We've talked a little bit about bringing valuables to camp. It is okay for responsible scouts and adults to bring technology or valuables. We don't recommend it, but we do have lockers, and we'll make sure that every troop has access to at least one locker that has power outlets inside. So if you bring a lock, you're good to go. You can take it the moment you get into camp and claim a locker for your troop. If you don't bring a lock, you'll have to get one through our store. But we do recommend you bring one, and we will make sure that every troop has at least one locker for valuables when they're out of camp or to charge things or keep money or medication.
Did you say that there's a power outlet at the campground?
Not in the campgrounds, but in the lockers. They are located at the first bathroom facility. So the lowest one, close to the bathroom, close to the front of camp, that has a back wall full of lockers, and they each have outlets inside. If you need power in your campsite for a medical reason or something like that, charging a wheelchair or using a CPAP machine, for example, please send a request to us in advance so we can put you in a campsite adjacent to a power source. There's probably in excess of 6 campsites that are within 25 feet of a power outlet. We just need to know in advance if you have leaders or scouts with machines that need power at night. Please don't bring any blenders or decorative lights or anything like that. that leads me to the things to leave at home. I'll skip around this next page a little bit because it's got a surprising amount of info. Just brush through that. Some of those things are there because we learned the lesson the hard way. Some of them are there just because the less valuables you bring to an ocean-centric camp, the better, and I'm sure you could figure that out yourselves. Of course, we don't want things like paraphernalia, weapons, fire starters, inappropriate items like alcohol, and it even says really inappropriate things in here because we've experienced them in the past. So make sure you go through this as leaders and create the expectation with the scouts and the other leaders that this is a scout camp, and even though you may be able to imbibe and think with things like alcohol outside of camp, you cannot keep those things in camp. So just keep that in mind. Check it out before you guys get to camp. Yeah, so and we'll highlight a couple of things that are program specific at this point. And again, please interrupt me with questions if you have them. Towards the top of this what to bring page, you'll see rugged canoers and rugged explorers specifically called out in bold. And there's a list of items that we believe scouts are going to need for those programs. That is also learned. Could you make it through a week of rugged E without a dry bag? Certainly, but your things are going to be wet. Could you borrow a trash bag and use that instead? Certainly. But then you might be wasting plastic, or you might end up with a hole in it. Scout shops all over the country sell dry bags for under $20. I recommend something 15 or 20 liters or bigger. You can fit things like your shoes, the clothes you need to stay dry, and any electronics or valuables that you may have. So again, that's not really necessary for everyone coming to camp. For War Canoe, we're going to drive the majority of your gear to the camping location by truck. But if you're in rugged E or rugged C, it is almost imperative that you have a waterproof bag, a dry bag or a trash bag tied to keep your things. We also really want to highlight the need for a reusable water bottle in camp. Camelbacks are great. Camelbacks are great. Please stress that one of the things that can go wrong most medically in camp is dehydration and exposure. We want everyone to be prepared and hydrated all the time. Get a water bottle with a clip it on your belt, wear it in your backpack. Keep a CamelBak strapped to the side of your neck. This is not the hottest place in the world, but it's one of the most fun places in the world. People might experience and get caught up in the moment and forget to drink water. Please, I can't stress it enough, bring a water bottle and talk about it 10 times a day. And yes, and sun protection, I think, is what Barbara's saying. Sun protection, exposure, and dehydration is the #1 thing that can happen to your scouts and leaders. Please make sure everybody's prepared and protected. Sunglasses, hats, long sleeve light colored shirts, water bottles. All the running water in camp is potable. Everything is drinkable. We have flush toilets, hot showers, running water fountains, and water bottle filling stations where we're drinking some ancient well water that's delicious, full of nutrition, full of minerals. And again, all our running water in camp is potable and tested regularly. So you don't have to bring a Costco pack of plastic bottles. Just bring a reusable water bottle. And if you like supplementary, vitamin powders, go ahead, bring it. But we do have enough water for everyone to drink. Yeah. This is a great moment to talk about it. So we will talk about a theme of assigning leaders to little jobs for your troop. So your scouts have someone. Hey, audio's good. So as far as medicine is concerned, we have an MD in camp at all times during the summer. We also have a representative from Torrance or Los Angeles Fire Department in camp. This is separate from those emergency responders we mentioned before. We have a volunteer MD and a volunteer medic firefighter in camp 24/7. We also have a health lodge that they station up in. The health lodge is not open 24/7. We can't use it like an urgent care where you can walk up and have your scout get a checkup or get random medication. It's really an emergency situation, and they are open for about 3 or 4 hours daily, where they expect visitors to come in and talk to them about things like sunburns, dehydration, medication, and stuff like that. They have a refrigerator where they can keep medicine stored safely and at temperature. They also have pretty much a full service trauma, not a full service trauma center, but we've got all the equipment we need to hook up and read people's brain condition, blood condition, and diagnose if we need to get them out of camp or if they can be treated in camp. Most of our doctors have been serving our camp specifically on a volunteer basis for in excess of 10 years. They're alumni of our staff, they're parents of our staff, alumni of Scouting, who just volunteer for the week and get a house for their family to hang out in camp while they help us. So should be very easy. Leaders can administer prescriptions if they feel equipped to do so, and if they don't need to be stored in a refrigerator. We actually prefer that. Or scouts with a med buddy can certainly help each other take prescription medication throughout the week. But we can certainly help with our medic staff in any way that is reasonable. Remember that there are hundreds of people being served by these medics. Are there any other questions specifically about the medic situation, medicine in camp, or anything like that? Sweet. Thank you for that. It says mess kits down here at the bottom because there is a program now we've alluded to once or twice called War Canoe. If you're unfamiliar with the program at Emerald Bay, War Canoe is built into the program. You don't have to sign up for it. We expect that everyone who's coming to camp in the traditional merit badge program will participate in War Canoe. There is no battling or war aspect to this canoe trip at all. It is when the entire troop in troop form with host staff members will canoe about 1 mile to 1.5 miles from our shores northwest to a more secluded beach called Parsons Landing. It's incredible, it's beautiful, and it is one of the best situations you could put your scouts in for youth leadership and support of the patrol method. It is not incredibly comfortable, I will say up front. Like we mentioned before, adults bring the lightest weight sleeping pads you have to make sure you don't get hurt by sleeping on the beach. But we can't accommodate scouts to have sleeping pads. It would be way too much gear. So leaders bring a sleeping pad, scouts bring a sleeping bag and a day pack. It's an adventurous day packed with snorkeling opportunities, hiking opportunities, service projects, and just taking in the beauty of Parsons Landing and that completely removed rural spot on the island. We'll probably hit that again later on. Unit insurance, most of you are probably from the West LA County Council or very close by councils, and we have access to unit insurance through your council already. If you have a troop committee member who can reach out to us to confirm that we already have that insurance, that would be very helpful. But in most cases, we have that already. And you don't have to stress too hard about getting that information to us. The one thing along that line that I will echo is in our paperwork, it mentions that your scouts must travel in a scout uniform to and from the boat terminal. And that's just us supporting BSA policy and reminding you that if you're driving a group of scouts to an event, if they're not in uniform, they may not be covered by the BSA insurance if there's an accident. So please support that policy, protect yourselves and the individuals in your troop, and always travel in your BSA uniforms, the tan or green uniforms that you wear. That'll ensure, with the right adult ratios, that you're covered by Boy Scout insurance getting to and from the events. Are there any questions specifically on that page?
I had a question on what to bring.
Yeah.
What about poles and ropes to build camp gadgets?
We will provide, we've got plenty. Our scout craft area will be open at times when merit badge schedule isn't heavy. So the 5th and 6th session towards the end of the day, scouts and leaders are invited to visit the scout craft director and borrow staves, poles, and ropes from them. They've got miles of manila rope and tons of staves for projects. They will support that, as well as one-off rank advancement opportunities, same way. Stop in, talk to the folks there, and they'll try to help you guys out. That's a great question. I think I am getting through what to and what to bring and what not to bring. Again, taking questions along that one. And this is still in a similar vein because the transportation really dictates what you can and can't bring to camp. We have been using this schedule that's laid out on the current screen for 4 summers. This will be our 5th, maybe our 4th summer using this schedule. And the difference is that we are using multiple medium-sized catamarans to get all scouts and leaders into camp. This is a much more comfortable option than what we used to do in the past. Those of you who have been to camp before may remember, if it was before 2014, a really humongous boat with 600 scouts on it that couldn't enter the bay when it arrived to camp. It had to sit outside of the bay, and we had to shuffle every individual into camp via shore boats and load all the gear manually onto a floating barge that we then towed into camp. That doesn't happen anymore. It's unsafe, and it took a lot of program time away. The boats we use now carry 100 to 250 passengers, and they can fit directly to our dock all the way up to the pier. There's no hiking, there's no relay boats, there's no driving necessary. The boat will drop you and your gear and troop off in camp. So with that, it shifted our departure schedule earlier because there's 3 to 4 boats every week. When we say a check-in time of 7:30 on Sunday, the Sunday that you start your summer camp experience, we mean that the first boat will leave within 10 minutes of that 7:30 check-in time. It's okay to come in 20 minutes later if there's traffic. Do not plan to arrive at 8 o'clock, please. But again, there will be multiple boats, 3 to 4 every Sunday, who load full troops when they're ready and leave when the boat is full. A second boat will be waiting in the wings to immediately pull in and take the next group of full troops into camp. The boat ride from San Pedro to camp is only about an hour and 20 minutes. So come to San Pedro, to the USS Iowa parking lot, bring your troop together, and then report to the boat, and you will very likely be able to load the boat and leave in a very timely manner. Again, our first boat will leave by 7:45 most Sundays. Are there any questions about that schedule or about your particular weeks or the boat? Yeah.
I have a question in regards to if there was no boat that wanted to come other than Sunday, like maybe later in the week, like on a Thursday or Friday, is that even possible? Or
So my initial reaction is, please try not to do that, because it causes a logistical headache specifically for the 2 of us. Although, if you have leaders who have to switch in the middle of the week, or you have scouts who need to leave to get to a baseball tournament or whatever you have, please communicate that to us directly via email, and we will try to work with you to make it happen. There are ferries that travel between San Pedro and Two Harbors, that town that's 3 miles away, every day throughout the summer. So it's restricted, but it is possible. And we don't have resources necessarily to drive individuals to catch those boats, so you've got to fit it in with our mail runs and our other operations. So please reach out to us directly if you have unique cases like that.
For return on Saturday, we have a group bus picking everyone up. How early do you guys know that?
So yeah, if you have a particular time that a bus is going to be there, which is a great question, a shuttle, a bus, even carpools, if you need to be in the first group of scouts, or you want to stay at camp later and you want to be in the latter half, you've just got to communicate that to us in advance. In most cases, we can coordinate that in camp. We're going to have an exit strategies meeting on Friday where we meet a representative from every troop. We determine which boat you're going to be on the next day, so you can reach out to the parents and let them know. But if you've already got the bus scheduled at 12:30, we'll put you on boat 3, because that'll put you there, or boat 4 even. That's probably on the really later end of arrivals. Let us know that so we can put you on the right boat. But we will coordinate those things in camp unless there's a real specific need. you need to catch a flight and 2 of your scouts need to leave earlier than the rest of your troop and the rest of you can't get it together, reach out to us. We'll make it work. I'll repeat them. Yes, so similar to can individuals move in and out of camp Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc. It's not preferred. In the BSA for the last few years, any adult who enters a Boy Scout camp must be registered with the BSA and be youth protection trained. With that said, if a family member takes a personal boat and wants to stay in Two Harbors or even the water at Emerald Bay, that is possible. We don't manage those moorings where the boats stay. And we also don't permit individuals to enter camp who aren't part of our Boy Scout program. So if families have private boats or troops have private boats and they want to either transport their scouts into camp with them or pick them up, it has to be coordinated with our management team in advance, because otherwise we're going to send that boat away. We luckily have an environment that we can control really tightly from the outside. There's not many opportunities for strangers, if you will, non-scouters to enter the camp. So if we don't know your boat's coming, the lifeguards on the dock are going to say, turn away, we don't know you, we weren't expecting you, this is a private dock. So please coordinate in advance with Linnea or myself. Again, it's not preferred because we do provide transportation to and from camp. I'll just talk briefly about the location in case you haven't been to camp in the last 4 years. It is new again for the last 4 years. We are leaving from what's called Berth 87 in San Pedro. The driving directions, the easiest thing to tell people, what you can put in your Google map is Battleship USS Iowa. You put in Battleship USS Iowa, San Pedro, into your navigation app, and it will take you to the loading zone. And if you drive through the loading zone, then you can park at the Battleship USS Iowa parking lot. There, please make sure that you heed posted signs. The police will not accept, I know Scott Gunn, I'm going to Emerald Bay, I can leave my car here, it's okay. They're going to give you a ticket. Please use the loading zone if you can stay by your vehicle. If not, drive into the lot, you get an hour free, and you only pay per time after that. The $18 figure, that's a 24-hour max figure. That's what you'll pay per day if you leave your vehicle there for the whole day or all week while you're in camp. So if you're doing a carpool drop-off situation, feel free to pull into the USS Iowa parking lot, get everything situated, send your scouts to the boat, and then drive away. Just please don't leave your cars unattended in the loading zone, and expect that if you're there longer than an hour, you might pay a few dollars for that parking. There is a small walk from that parking lot to the departure dock. It's definitely easy to navigate. You're going to see an exodus of scouts walking towards the boat. You very likely won't be turned around. But in case you have a situation where anyone is confused, the departure dock is located immediately between the San Pedro Maritime Museum, which is Art Deco pink building, and the Harbor Fire Department, which has awesome Crowley 60-foot firefighter boats. You can't miss it. So it's right in between, again, the Harbor Fire Department and the San Pedro Maritime Museum, which has a cannon out front and it's Art Deco pink building. That's where you're going to walk to from your car. I want to transition on to more of the clerical stuff, documents, scout leader information. As we flip to the required documents page, it's gonna give me a lot of thoughts about little recommendations of how to make sure that your scouts get everything that they need to camp so they have the opportunities, all the opportunities available to them. So first off, Barbara is going to say this hopefully 2 or 3 more times, and so am I. No matter if you're not sure about scuba diving, you've never done it before, you don't like the water that much, whatever it is, you're going to go get a physical probably between now and camp. I highly recommend, almost in, you know, I want you to, I need you to get the PADI medical form signed by your doctor as well. Even if you're not signed up for Rugged O or Rugged S, even if you don't think you're going to go scuba diving, we're not going to be able to get you a doctor's signature once you're in camp to go scuba diving. There are awesome opportunities: half day, couple hours, partial week, you know, parent and child. Discover whatever it is. Elaborate on the skills that you already have. Doesn't matter if you're a certified diver or not. You must have the PADI medical form filled out if you're going to participate in scuba diving. Bring it to the doctor with you. Get it signed. They'll say you're healthy enough to dive, and you'll have the chance in case it comes up. We are going to ask for a lot of other forms. Namely, there's a permission form, a full release form that incorporates things like talent release and liability. There's another one specifically for shooting sports that everyone must fill out. Adults can fill it out for themselves. Youth must have their parent's signature on it. It's not easy to get those things signed once you've gotten to camp, so please disseminate those things to your troop at the meetings in the next month and get them signed and returned, collected, so you don't have to worry about it the weeks right leading up to camp. All of them are online. We will show you on campemeraldbay.org where to get these if you haven't received them directly from us, or if you lose the email that we send you also, we'll show you where to find those later on in this meeting. It brings me to the concept of recommending a leadership practice for our camp. Please, again, this is not something you have to do, but a lot of successful troops at Emerald Bay have had a program where they designate one adult leader for a particular duty involving their scouts. For example, there's one leader who's in charge of paperwork. There's another leader who's in charge of spending cash. There's another leader who's in charge of merit badge schedules, and on and on. If you can do that in advance, I believe it will help your scouts have a more efficient week and help your leaders budget their time at camp so they can go do cool stuff too. Leaving it all to the scoutmaster or the most active person is a tough ask. There's a lot of things to do. So having at least 3 or even 4 leaders assigned to things that I just mentioned, paperwork, money handling, what else did I say? Yeah, medication and merit badge schedules will really help your leaders kind of plan their week, because there's a lot of stuff for leaders to do at Emerald Bay as well. We want you to have the opportunity to have some fun. Please. So the question was, is there a hard ratio for troops, adults and scouts coming to Emerald Bay? And the fact is, it's based on BSA policy. The minimum amount of leaders you can have are 2. And if you have more than, I'm going to say more than 16 scouts, we recommend one additional leader for every 10 scouts. So most troops will come with 3 to 5 leaders. If you've got 10 scouts, you need 2 leaders. We need 2. You've got to have that 2 deep leadership situation covered. So I'm going to say minimum 2, and it does vary. Some troops will have 50-50 because there's a lot of parents that want to experience camp, or new parents, and that's okay. It's just that our programs do get impacted. We may favor the scouts when signing up for programming and have the adults as add in as they're able. Further down on this list, it talks about a really important form. I don't know if I mentioned it before. It's called the special request form. The special request form is exactly that. It's for special requests. And it's a Google form. So it's not going to rely on me or Linnea to remember what you emailed us and when. It's going to put it into a nice document for us so we can't forget you. Please, if you've got a special request regarding dietary needs, medical needs, campsite needs, or transportation, this is the document to use. Again, it helps us make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. It's something that is accessible now and will be accessible through the fall So please use the special request form. Don't expect an immediate response from us. Again, your special request will go into a form and queue where we won't lose it, and we'll be able to manage it throughout the spring and into the summer. Use the special request form found on our forms and packets link on our website. We'll actually show you how to get there at the end of this meeting as well. Briefly, campemeraldbay.org. On the left side, there's a feature list. Click Summer Programs, and then underneath, click Forms and Packets, and you'll see the magic page with every document that we've talked about. We do provide for those of you who have lactose-free diets, gluten-free diets, or vegetarian diets, although we must know in advance so we can order the proper food. Use that special request form to let us know about your special dietary needs. We think we're on the cutting edge, the precipice of camp food. Believe it or not, we've been doing vegetarian for more than a decade and gluten-free now for about 6 years. We will have separate prep services for people with celiac disease, but you've got to let us know. We have individually packaged items. You've got to let us know. Special request form. If you want more information about dietary restrictions or things around our dining hall and any allergies or issues you may have, you can email our kitchen management directly at bsaebkitchen@gmail.com. Larry Sweets, our kitchen manager, is a full-time staff member. He's currently in camp, and he'd be happy to answer your questions as early as today about extra dietary information. Put in the special request form. You don't need to talk to Larry unless you feel that you would like to or need to. Again, that's bsaebkitchen@gmail.com. Any questions about those forms? Beautiful. The next one, we're going to go quick because it's for us. We're asking a favor. If you have any adult leaders who don't like to be involved in your troop activity, just kidding. If you have any adult leaders who have special skills or who really want to help when they come to camp and they maybe don't have a child that they're going to be shadowing or a big job with your troop, have them fill out this form. If there's anyone who has special training in aquatics, shooting sports, any merit badge that you see that we offer, or specialties like plumbing, electric, et cetera, carpentry, please let us know. We want to use them. We might have a little emergency. We might reach out to them during camp. So if there's anyone who's got special skills, let us know. We will try to use them if we have the need. That's totally optional. Don't have to fill this out, but any leader who is willing to help, please fill it out and turn it in when you arrive to camp. All right, I'm going to introduce a couple of programs, and I have mentioned a few of these already, so hopefully I won't babble too long, and then I will invite up Barbara from Malibu Divers. Before I get into our rugged programming, and I'll explain that, I want to talk about a unique opportunity for those youth who are leaders in your troop now or who may be leaders in the future. Those, again, who are SPLs for your weekend camp or ASPLs or think they will be soon, have an opportunity to come to camp earlier. Honestly, this is a small program. That's only because of scheduling. On average, we bring about 6 youth into camp the Thursday before the rest of the troop arrives. So a couple, some troops will send 2 scouts, some troops will send 1, some will send 10 if they want them to have training and an intro to our program. This is an extra $200 for this experience. It is a combination of familiarity with Emerald Bay, its staff, and its programming, and leadership training. There's also a bit more outdoor recreation that the SPLs will get into with our staff as we transition into your week. It's a great way, if your troop hasn't been to camp before, to prepare your scouts to help lead the experience when your troop arrives. It costs $200 extra. They'll arrive Thursday midday when the rest of the troop won't arrive until that following Sunday. There's separate transportation information that will be shared upon or after registration. you sign up for this just like you've signed up for camp already. So it doesn't actually affect the original Scouts reservation to come to camp. It's just an additional item that you can add. We'll ask for information for that Scout, including their email, because we'll be in contact with them directly about some of the details, especially about transportation and supervision throughout the weekend, throughout that program. Yeah.
The scout would go alone, not with an adult.
That's right. Yeah. The question was, do the SPLs come into camp? Do they need an adult? They do not. In fact, most Scouts who participate in this program will come just as an unaccompanied youth. So being dropped off at the Catalina Express terminal, our staff member who is a young adult will meet them and take take guardianship, if you will, of those Scouts for the boat ride into town and the travel into camp from there. It's a really cool program. I did it myself as a youth, actually, and one cool thing is that it introduces your Scouts to some of our staff, and they get to see things kind of on the backside that not everyone gets to see when they're just visiting camp as a normal participant. Again, that'll be signed up through Double Nut, just like signing up for camp. We use the word rugged, and I imagine some of you are like, what the heck is this word? What are you talking about? The easiest way to understand our rugged programs is that they are more adventurous or extracurricular, awesome, week-long programs that will remove your Scout or leader from the traditional merit badge schedule. So we talked when we have programs called Rugged E and Rugged C that Camp Emerald Bay and its administration run directly. Then we have programs hosted by Malibu Divers that are also called Rugged. We have the diving programs that are called Rugged, again, that are week-long programs that start from an open water certification class and go up to the third level of PADI certification, which is Rescue Diver, are called Rugged Rugged S, Rugged O, and Rugged R. The programs that Linnea and I run internally from the Scout staff are called Rugged E and Rugged C. I'm going to talk about Rugged E and Rugged C now, and then I'm going to hand it over to Barbara to give you a lot of information about the scuba rugged programs and other scuba opportunities. So again, Rugged is for Scouts who already have their merit badges or want to do something special while they're at camp. It's not for those who need to earn merit badges to advance through the scouting program during summer camp. First, our Rugged C program, which is a smaller program than any of the others. It is a canoe trip around the entire island. If you want to read through this Rugged C description, please keep the theme that this is an emotional and physically strenuous trip. Has anyone here done it?
No. We know people. Yeah.
And I think Linnea has done it. And I, in fact, have not done it. This is a really adventurous and challenging experience. Please do not force any Scouts who don't want to do this program to do this program. You can take 90% of your troop on a Rugged C trip, and we will make sure that those Scouts left behind are in a troop with supervision and can do their merit badge programming. This is a unique and challenging experience, but it's one of the most fulfilling, incredible challenges you'll ever do. Circumnavigating a 30-mile long island, the thickest part of Catalina is about 6 miles wide. You'll canoe the entire way around it. It's camping at beautiful remote beaches, cooking all your meals with our staff members, outdoors, camping under the stars or in tents as needed. We'll do one gear drop where you have contact with our management, where we pick up your empty igloos and drop off full ones, and otherwise you're on the adventure of a lifetime, really paddling your heart out, making friends with everyone, and struggling and succeeding. It's a beautiful trip. It's a hard trip. It'll probably only happen 2 or 3 weeks this summer, but if you've got canoers, please sign up for the trip. It's really cool. Our staff love to do it, and our Rugged staff, our high adventure staff, are awesome, experienced young adults who want to bring your scouts experience the next level.
How big is the slide?
I'd say on average it's only about 10 to 14 people, maybe even less. It's again, it can be one whole troop that goes with our staff, or it can be a combination of many small groups.
Is it single staff?
No, we'll have at least 2, sometimes as many as 4, depending on the amount of participants. Awesome adventure. I'm going to move on from Rugged C. Please reach out to Linnea and I directly if you want additional information on Rugged C. Rugged E is in the same vein in that it is adventurous and it is physically challenging. The difference is Rugged E, for one, is much more popular. We'll very likely run Rugged E every week of programming. You will first engage in a physical endurance test to make sure that you're up to the task. There aren't prerequisites for being in the Rugged E&C program, except that you should be 14 years old or older. With that said, we are going to send you on a little jog to make sure you can keep up with the group. In Rugged E, you'll do a hike that summits a 2,000-foot mountain on Catalina. Now, this is an expert level hike. You're going to gain about 1,800 feet elevation in 2 miles or less. Not an easy hike. Incredible view, incredible experience. Later on the week, you'll take 2 overnighters out of camp. One of them is a canoe trip, and one of them is a mountain bike trip. So Rugged E is made for those adventurous spirits that want to try a bunch of different things, that want to experience the interior of Catalina Island, who don't necessarily want to earn more merit badges while they're at camp. I highly recommend Rugged E to those older scouts who are not in leadership positions, who just want to continue adventuring and scouting. It's a great experience. Challenging, rewarding, and team building. These are the 2 programs where we recommend a dry bag, highly recommend a dry bag, and also require a day pack of sorts, sturdy shoes, and sun protection and water shoes. The question was, do adults need to go on the rugged trips? The answer is no. They will be amply staffed, and leaders can stay in camp and host the merit badge scouts. But they are welcome to join.
So one of the things that we're going to show you here is about how awesome the underwater environment is. Those of you who may know, it's over 71% of our Earth is water. And we know more about our solar system than we do about our oceans. And so if your scout or a scout leader gets certified here, it's going to make them ready to dive anywhere around the world. This is a lifetime certification program. And on the slide, it shows a number of different locations, warm water, cold water. So I'm going to start with talking about our Rugged Scuba program. This is our name for the PADI Open Water course. It's made up of 3 parts: the academic, the classroom part, the confined water, or what generally would be done in the pool, and then the ocean dives, and then some other things. When you first come to camp and you're registered for this program, you do all the rugged programs get registered through Camp Emerald Bay. So Rugged Scuba, Rugged O, Rugged Arc, you go directly to Camp Emerald Bay's website and you register there. When you're registered there, I'm going to get into a few more details, but we know you're coming. We know a lot about you already. In fact, my staff's going to be down on the dock and meet and greet you and point you in the right direction. And your program starts from the time you hit the dock, okay? And then you're with us for the week. Okay, go ahead. So where are we located? Sometimes scouts get a little lost. It's okay. We're in the bottom floor still of the Pennington Marine Center, right? And so we're right below the aquarium. If you're facing the dining hall, it's the building to the right, 2-story building. All right. So the class, the first part of the Rugged Scuba program, for the last 15 plus years, we've been using this online program called PADI e-learning. In the old days, we used to use manuals, quizzes, final exams. All of that must be completed before you come to camp. okay? Takes about 12 hours on the average. Some people get it done in 8, but generally about 12 hours, okay? When you complete that program, there's going to be a final certificate or what's called a completion report. We'll remind you about this through a series of emails. Complete your e-learning. So if you have scouts signed up for Rugged Scuba, they must complete this program before they come to camp. And they're going to bring their completion report with them, along with all the releases. In addition, they're going to get some enhancement pack that's going to have a logbook and a dive calculator and a few other things. You'll also have given us their height, weight, shoe size, because we're buying and purchasing equipment for them that's going to fit them. And they literally get to keep a mask, snorkel, fins, booties, gloves, and a small gear bag. And that's their personal gear that they get to keep. The regular gear, in terms of the cylinders, the BCDs that they wear, the regulators, computers, wetsuits, we provide all of that. Again, we're using all that sizing to go ahead and stage everything a day or two before they arrive. So one of the issues too is if your scout's growing a lot, we need the best guess about what size they are, okay? And they'll learn how to take care of all this gear. We literally go, this is your gear for the week, take care of it. And please, you know, we're going to show you how to clean it, how to hang it up, and how to work out of the dive locker with it, okay? If you have someone who is 4XL, a leader or a child, that's okay. We have 4XL, okay? But we need to know that in advance, right? So if they have size 4 boot, we know that too, okay? So we carry a lot of extra sizes. It's very important that they get sized correctly. And then finally, we also go over a lot of safety information. Scott talked at length about how close things are and some of the safety things. We have rules in the dive locker. There's oxygen nearby. There's AEDs. My staff are all CPR and first aid instructors. We've never had a serious incident. You know, sometimes the first questions people ask me about are sharks, right? That it's dark and that it's dangerous. None of those 3 things you need to be concerned with, okay? So first off, it's not dark. Sharks, we're happy to see them. And there's nothing dangerous down there. And then, what's the other one? I forget. So it's important just to follow rules. That's one of the hallmarks of whether someone's ready for this program. They need to be mature and follow rules, okay? So, and we're ready for anything that happens. Next is where are you going to do your diving? So once we collect the paperwork, we do a quick quiz. We go off to do some diving. We do a swim test. We do a float test. They do not need to be an excellent swimmer, Olympic swimmer. They need to do basic swimming, about 100, 200 yards, and a float for about 10 minutes. So, and then everything else they'll learn in the ocean for their pool-like exercises. And they get really good. By the end of the week, they're divers. We turn them into divers. We have about a 95% success rate with just about everybody. So just to be realistic, if someone's feeling pushed or coerced into getting a scuba merit badge and they're really not into it, it's probably not the program for them. Because you really do have to be dedicated and get up every day and do the scuba program. Okay? So, but like I said, 95% or more of the kids and adult leaders make it through the program. Okay, and then the final dives. Some scouts, it takes them all week. It's no problem. You know, whether it takes you 4 days or 5 days or 6 days to learn to do this, that's fine, okay? But some finish early, and so, like, if they want to dive some more, if they want to do some more training, entirely up to them. We want to keep them involved and diving more. So there's some options where they can add on more dives and more training. So that's an option to them. We run a full CPR and first aid class. That's also required. They should be current on that for their scuba merit badge. Yeah. The swimming merit badge is a requirement for the scuba merit badge. They can still finish the rugged scuba program and go to the scuba merit badge presentation. However, if they don't have the swimming merit badge already, then it'll be conditional upon them finishing it then. Okay. One of the things that we run into, not a lot, but make sure when they do the scuba merit badge that they filled out all the paperwork and they give you the blue card. Okay. So sometimes they lose those. So get those scuba merit badge blue cards from them. It's generally on Friday. We're wrapping up. There's Aquacade and a few other things going on. So it's nice for them to finish out the week and get their scuba merit badge at the end. We schedule that based upon how people are finishing. Okay? Don't wait till Saturday morning and say, I forgot to go to the merit badge. The kids need to make sure they know when their merit badge presentation is. They also get nice neckerchiefs for Rugged Scuba, Rugged O, and Rugged O. Okay? That's usually on Saturday morning. What else? Okay, Rugged O, the next program. This is Patty's Advanced Open Water Program. Okay, it's required they have at least 5 dives. One of them must be navigation, one must be deep. Okay, the other 3 plus dives, we have some options on. And this past year, we added in our full face masks to one of the dives, and it was a huge hit. This is an example of full face mask. Just so you know, these things are anywhere from $800 to a $1,500 piece of equipment. And so we found that the scouts and leaders really enjoyed using them. We added it as one of the dives for advance. We also have the full face mask specialty. So a lot of the scouts enjoyed doing that. It's super cool. I think it's the cool factor more than anything. But, if they ever go on for scientific diving, law enforcement, other things like that, full face mask is not that uncommon. Okay? They also, some of them have communication so we can talk to each other underwater. All right? Night diving is another super popular dive done during advance. I personally don't like to night dive, but I love doing it at Camp Emerald Bay. And it's because we have this amazing underwater life. Last year we had things I've never seen before. Seriously. I saw the largest lobsters and silver sides and all kinds of stuff. So super fun. What else can I tell you about this? It's a week-long program. We do have a wreck, by the way, that's a little around 55, 60 feet. That's usually another popular dive to do during advanced or Rugged O. So it's not uncommon for a scout to come to Camp Emerald Bay and do Rugged Scuba, and then the next year come back and do Rugged O. Okay, questions? Same releases, similar releases, same medical, same rules. I don't have anything here about Rugged R, but that would be the next thing after Rugged O. Okay, I do have a couple people signed up for that for this summer. It in itself is a really great program. It's a week-long program where they learn how to start taking care and be of assistance to someone else in need. Okay, PADI specialties and EFR. EFR stands for Emergency First Response, otherwise known as CPR and First Aid. If you're interested in the rugged programs, you sign up with Camp Emerald Bay. So PADI specialties, you sign up directly with Malibu Divers. Okay, we're going to send you a manual probably in advance. It's a tiny little manual. You'll read through, answer the questions, show up with that finished, and then we'll schedule your dives. Here's a listing of some of the dives that you can do and the number of dives that's required for the specialty. Okay, these ones in particular, shark awareness, pirate, full face, kelp, are already available. Those are things that are very unique at camp. that we enjoy doing that you probably won't see much elsewhere. Pirate's kind of a scavenger hunt and learning how to work with your buddy, and you find things underwater like a treasure and using a treasure map. Super fun. We give you pirate names. And I'm thinking about writing 2 others, abalone diver and California spiny lobster. So I'm always looking for new input on other types of dives people might want to learn about. I thought about another one today, which I might run by you guys. So lots and lots of diving to do. CPR and first aid, by the way, there is no age requirement. There is no diving. You don't have to be a diver to do it. If you need a refresher in that, we can do that. That's it. Questions? Sign up directly with Malibu Divers on that one. I mentioned also Patty Master Scuba Diver. That's rescue plus 5 specialties plus 50 dives. Some people come to camp and they want to finish doing that. We can do that. We've done a number of those, by the way. Dan Diver Insurance is included for the Patty Open Water or Rugged Scuba. If you're doing Rugged O and anything else, we recommend you having Dan Insurance.
What is that?
Dan is Divers Alert Network. It's a dive accident insurance policy. It's secondary. And anytime you're 50 miles or more away from home, it covers you for if there were a tank to fall on your toe, or if you have an ear issue and need to see a doctor. So sometimes medical insurance these days doesn't cover diving, unfortunately. So, and of course, anything beyond that. Any other questions?
The packet mentions a half-day experience.
Yeah, we're going to get to that right here. So the half-day experience is actually more of a 2 to 2.5 hour kind of period of time, because it falls usually between breakfast and lunch. It feels like a little bit of a half day. I think also we changed it around a little bit in that this program is for non-certified divers, Scuba BSA, otherwise known as a Discover Scuba Diving or DSD. It's for a non-certified person to try scuba in the ocean. And we do a briefing of about 45 minutes, usually in one evening, where you come. If you're diving on Monday, you come Sunday night. If you're diving on Tuesday, you come on Monday night. We're pretty flexible on when you come to the briefing, but that way we get all your paperwork, we do the briefing, and then your dive time is when you're scheduled. We have these scheduled throughout the week. If you're a scout leader and you're so busy and you go, can I do it before breakfast? We'll probably try to figure out how to do it for you. Okay? So we're very flexible on that. We want to get you in the water. Again, non-certification. And go ahead.
So the person is only there,
Yes.
never even
Yes.
touched anything.
You don't even have to be a good, just snorkel. Yep.
Or if you haven't-
If you haven't snorkeled. In fact, you should be nervous and be anxious. That's a pretty common feeling about the whole thing. And we literally take you by the hand and we take you scuba diving.
So that's why you say do Patty.
Medical.
Because you need it for this.
Yes.
Okay. And does this conflict with America if they were doing their project?
No, the Malibu Diver staff does a great job of working around America's schedule. She's got anywhere from 11 to 14 instructors, dive masters instructors in camp. So those folks around the week-long rugged program will try to schedule with you.
And one more question, if they do this, they do that, is that an extra?
Yes.
cost?
Yes. And again, you sign up with us directly
They're right.
with Malibu Divers
Now they're-
while there or beforehand. I recommend beforehand because it's not unusual for us to do anywhere between 30 and 50 of these per week. And those that sign up in advance are first on the list to pick the time they want. And I know you guys are going to be scheduled to do a lot of merit badges. And I'll tell you right now, everybody wants period 5, I think, or 6.
Yeah.
5 or 6, almost every day. And I'm like, I've got 20 people. I can't do you all at period 5 and 6.
So she worked it out for us. I was out there. We worked it in the adult leaders to go when the rest
Right.
So we sent all the kids kayaking with our razor, and literally 4 of us adults went. We were like, "Can you look us up at this point at this time?" When we arranged it, and they had 4 of us in the water diving, 3 of us in the water diving while everyone else was kayaking.
How many made it then?
The more notice you can give us, I've also had groups of 15 walk in, and I'm like, you know, so it's hard. It's really hard. If you're going to do it with the other scouts too, and you got a group, you got to let me know in advance. And so anything in advance helps me plan better. Okay, and I'll just do the best I can.
What's the price of the DSD?
We've kept it the same at $125 for the last couple of years.
How deep do you go?
So maximum depth is 40 feet. We don't even go anywhere near that. Okay? So it's usually more in the 20 to 25.
Even the certification course, you stay at that depth?
So maximum depth for an open water diver is 60 feet. Yeah. That actually brings up a good point. The minimum age for any scuba program is 12 years old. Okay? So rugged S, rugged O, rugged R, specialties. Unfortunately, sometimes people can get certified at 10 and 11, and then they come to camp. So I would recommend that you talk to me if you have any 10 and 11-year-olds that are already certified, okay? The general rule, 12 years old, okay? So, and then there's no age limit. We've had 80 plus in the water too, okay? So you should be in good shape physically, by the way. You know, those tanks and equipment and weights do weigh quite a bit. So sometimes we get 4'10" and 60 pounds, and we help. That's okay. You know, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody who can't even carry their backpack, right? So you should be in good shape, and that medical is one of those determinants about whether scuba is a good fit for you. If you have any questions about the medical, you should really talk to your doctor. If you need assistance with the medical, I can recommend other places, okay? What else? Discover Snorkeling is meant for under 12 years old. It's also a way for people who are super, super nervous to get in the water and not feel left out. It's kind of hard to be on an island and not be in the water, right? So again, we require a daytime program. If they already have their BSA snorkeling badge, yay. You know, we'll then consider taking them on a night snorkel. It's super fun. We play with the bioluminescence underwater. We see lobsters and rays and all kinds of things. So otherwise, if we have time and we can put it in the schedule, we'll do daytime snorkeling. Last year we were so busy we didn't even have time for that, okay? So we'll do the best we can though. And then finally, Discover Local Diving is meant for certified divers. If you need a tune-up, you should get a tune-up before you come to camp. Be honest with us though, if you haven't been in the water for a year or more, or you feel like you need a tune-up, then you should we can do a tune-up at camp. It takes about 2 hours again. It's very thorough. It's knowledge, skills, equipment, and diving. And even if you are a certified diver and say your scout is not certified, we have ways for you guys to dive together. Okay? So it's not unusual to have a family or a troop where there's some certified and some not. Depending again on the size of the group, we can put certified with non-certified, and we conduct it in shallow water so that you can all be together. All right? And then kayak diving, sometimes we do, depends on conditions and availability of equipment. It's usually more time consuming than just a single dive, so we need advance notice on that. And then of course, night diving and the other things we talked about are available. Last year I showed this slide. We had this slide. This year, it's live. Yay. There's the website, store at malibudivers.com for the non-rugged programs. You can sign up online. Yay, pick your week. Make sure you pick your right week, okay? So there you have it. Go to the website. Yay, or call us. It's pretty easy to find. There's a drop down. It says Scout BSA Scuba Programs. and then it lists all of the Scout programs. If you get lost, it'll send you back to campemeraldbay.org. All right. I just wanted to mention about some of my pros. They're amazing people. They eat, sleep, dive, eat, sleep, dive, eat, sleep. I think besides sleeping and eating, diving's their favorite thing. I'm not sure of the order of that. Okay? Because we dive, dive, dive. Okay? It's not unusual for my leaders and pros to have 200 plus dives during the summer. So we're working hard to get you out there. I usually have half my staff from last year, not half, 4 to 5 of them out of 14 that are from last year, and then I bring in new people. And a reason I bring in new people is because some of these scouts want to come work for us. And it's an amazing opportunity. Some of them, it's their first job, and they're really dedicated to scouts. They're really dedicated to making people being safe, super important, right? First and foremost, and have a lot of fun. So it's not unusual for my staff to be made up of some of your scouts. In fact, I've already hired a couple from last year. And we arrive a week early. We're all trained CPR and first aid instructors. And we do rescue drills. We learn all the dive spots if they've never been there before. And we all move in and get ready to roll on week 1. Okay, so what else can I tell you about them? That's pretty much it. Next. So if you have any aspiring scouts that are interested in potentially becoming pros, they must be 18 years old. I also have a couple of positions still, even now, open for both boys and girls to be my assistant. They get to work with the team. They can be 16, 17 years old, below 18. And they just need to have the right attitude and right enthusiasm for camp. So you can also find information about that on the website. And another thing that comes up, if any of you are pros already, I get asked this a couple times a year. They want to know if they can come out for a week and work for me. Unfortunately, I can't do that because of the insurance requirements and because there's so much involved in terms of learning how to run the programs. We'd love to have you come dive with us, but I really can't put you to work in any kind of official capacity. Okay. Additional considerations. So don't forget rugged programs, Camp Emerald Bay sign up, rugged rescue, especially if somebody thinks they've done it all already, specialties, look for the new ones coming out, and then if you need a tune-up, get it now, or make a plan to factor in some time for that at camp. And again, go pro, if anyone's interested in going professional. Just wanted to say something about our programs again, you know, in terms of the quality of what's behind them. I really love this program. I love going to camp, and it's an amazing environment to work in, and we're fortunate to be part of this team. So we are available. We're open every day, including Saturday and Sunday. So, and Carter and I are always on email or texting, so we're happy to answer any questions. That's it. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. I'm open to questions. Anything? I did it all.
Yeah, no.
Any questions online? So Dan, diversalert.org, that's where you go for that. Dan Insurance. The membership is like $35 a year. There's also a family membership. It also covers non-diving. There's lots of options on it, but the basic plan is less than $100 a year. So I highly recommend that. I'm going to say one more thing about gear. Even though we have 70 sets of equipment out there, we do have limited sizes. So again, I really need sizing, super important. If you're doing the Rugged O program, you probably went through Rugged S, or you already have your Mass Snorkel fins, booties, and gloves. We recommend you use those because we know and you know that they fit. Yeah? So if you come out there and you got size 13 boot, I may not have a size 13 because everybody else has come with the same idea. It never fails that all size 13s come out the same week. So we recommend if you're in the Rugged O or if you're planning on diving, please at least try to bring your Mass Snorkel and booties, you know, and gloves if you use them. Fins, we can kind of fit most people because we have a lot of different sizes on that, and there's only so many sizes, you know. So if you have any questions, just email us. Cool. Oh, that's something.
No, I'm going to add just that. I personally got the first 3 levels of PADI certification at Camp Emerald Bay through Malibu Divers. This is an incredible program and an incredible opportunity, incredible value opportunity. If you've ever thought that you were interested in getting into scuba diving, adult leaders or youth, I highly recommend that you look into this and that you definitely get that PADI medical form filled out in addition to the BSA medical forms, part A, B, and C. I did open water as a 14-year-old, advanced open water as a 20-year-old, and rescue diver when I was the program director at camp. This program comes highly recommended. I have never seen a youth or adult leave camp dissatisfied with the experience that they've gotten. Even that very tiny percent who can't finish their certification for some reason. These instructors work very hard and have an incredible history at Emerald Bay and at their brick and mortar shop in Malibu. So don't hesitate to reach out to Barbara or Carter. We have their information on our website, and Linnea and I can get you in touch with anyone from their shop as well if you have questions about getting signed up, gear, or any details about any of the scuba opportunities at camp. Again, it is for scouts 12 and up. So those brand new scouts who just bridged, unfortunately, in the BSA are not able, in most cases, to dive at Emerald Bay. So again, for those scouts 12 and up and adult leaders. I'm very, very excited and proud to talk about sailing. We at Emerald Bay have been building a sailing program over the last decade, and it is really coming into fruition now, really starting in the last two years and moving forward into these next 3 to 5. We have a 3 to 5 year plan on making sailing on the level of our marine science education, our scuba certifications in camp. The big, huge step that we made in 2019 from the blood, sweat, and tears of our program director, Linnea, we have become an American Sailing Association affiliate school. Hooray! Our main goal here is to provide something in sailing that scouts and leaders can use outside of the scouts. So the ASA training, or the fact that we have become a training school, will allow us to give certifications for ASA 110, for the ASA 110 program. This is going to allow scouts and leaders to show that they have been educated in sailing and allow them the opportunity to do things like use boats at the Newport Sea Base or at other sailing programs across the country, rent sailboats from large companies as adults to go on vacations. This ASA certification can be built upon and is something that carries across and outside of scouting. So we're very proud in our new partnership with ASA and providing in our advanced sailing program the opportunity to get the ASA 110 certification. Our sailing, as it is in 2019, is offered in 2 separate tiers. Tier 1, where we expect scouts to have experience on the water and the sailing merit badge at the very least. These scouts can sign up for our small boat sailing merit badge. We have a fleet of 8 to 10 RS Quest sailboats, which are beautiful 14-foot training boats. They don't have permanent keels. They're fast. They're easy to right, and they are a lot of fun to take out in the Pacific Ocean. Small boat sailing is a chance for scouts who love the water to learn more about the water and challenge themselves. They've got to be physically fit. They've got to be excited about the adventure. And one small sacrifice of both of our sailing programs is that they take multiple sessions each day. We can't determine when it's going to be windy, and we have to get through a lot of instruction and practice to award the Sailing Merit Badge and the ASA 1 in 10 certification. So if you're joining either small boat sailing or advanced sailing, please be prepared that it will take up at least 2 sessions of your day. The small boat sailing program, I believe, will take up session 3 and 5. Are they both long? 3 and 4, and the advanced sailing program will take sessions 3 and 5. And there is possibility that we will take advantage of time before or after lunch to extend sailing opportunities, to capture opportunity for the wind, and to get your scouts out there in boats. Again, I am very proud of our program in Linnea for making this big step. We were just granted the affiliate school status weeks ago, and we've already hired staff members who will be trained to provide this program during summer camp. So if your scouts are looking for something extra to do, if they've already got the Small Boat Sailing Merit Badge, or if you have leaders that are interested in advanced sailing, please feel free to sign up for that program. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to continue to build our sailing program into the future. We anticipate a new rugged program called Rugged Mariners, where scouts and leaders will have an opportunity to sail in a tall ship or a yacht-style sailboat outside of camp for multiple days, kind of mimicking those rugged and sea adventures, except utilizing the beautiful ocean around us and pushing our involvement in the sailing community even further. So look forward in 2020 for Rugged Mariner. Please give us feedback throughout the spring and summer if you have ideas or connections to the sailing community to help us mature that program. But we're incredibly excited to offer the ASA Advanced Sailing Program with ASA 110. That is an internationally recognized sailing certification, in addition to our improved small boat sailing program. Please, if you love to sail, if you want to sail, this is the place to learn to sail. Does anyone have questions specifically about sailing? All right. It is time for me to get into the merit badge stuff. Merit badges for some scouts and families are the #1 reason for going to summer camp. We can provide that experience for any family and scout who's looking for merit badges, but we love at Emerald Bay to highlight the fact that you can do anything with us. You don't have to be on track to earn 4 or 5+ merit badges at Emerald Bay. We consider ourselves an experience camp. We want you to come and do things you've never done before. We want you to get dirty. We want you to get wet. We want you to get out there into the sun and experience new things. With that said, 75 to 80% of our participants will be in our traditional merit badge program. Those of you who are tuned in or here in the meeting, I imagine, have actually manually signed your troops up on Double Knot for Camp Emerald Bay. Is that correct? Most of you? So signing up for merit badges goes through that same venue. It goes through doubleknot.com. You're going to sign in with the same information that you did to sign up for camp and to pay registration for camp, to add information to each scout for their merit badge schedule. The reason you put in each scout's name and information about them is now so you can put their entire schedule into that system, allowing you to edit it, allowing us to edit and view it, and allowing us to keep digital records of what your scouts are doing at camp. So starting at the end of next week on March 1st, there are going to be new buttons that will show up on doubleknot.com when you sign in. New buttons that allow you to add individual scouts' merit badge schedule into the system. We do not anticipate merit badges closing to registration. I understand there's a lot of anxiety around classes, merit badge sessions filling up and getting in as soon as possible. We want you to get in as soon as possible so we can staff right and provide program for you. We do not anticipate that merit badges will be closed to anyone. We've managed the amount of scouts that are registered per week, and we hope that that helps us manage the class size and give everyone the opportunity to take whatever badge they want. At Emerald Bay, we do not use traditional blue cards outside of the scuba merit badge and anomaly situations. We use what we call blue sheets, and every council that we've worked with for 11 years now has accepted our watermarked blue sheet as a merit badge record for Eagle Scout achievement and for merit badge record keeping. We will disseminate blue sheet merit badge blue sheet merit badge records to the troop in camp, after camp, and we will also share it directly with your council if you're not in the West LA County Council. So rest assured that information is stored with us, is shared with your council, and should be kept in your troop records. Any question? I know I ran through a lot right there. Any questions about that, blue sheets, or getting signed up for merit badges? We're going to talk about all the excellent. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna continue with the merit badge difficulty chart. This chart is not only found in your Spring Leaders packet, but it is also provided on that Forms and Packets page on our website. So don't hesitate to use it as much as possible. It ranks all of our merit badges between level 1 through 4. It helps you to determine what scouts can handle the curriculum and physical demands of each merit badge. So imagine what we hope you to interpret is level 1 is a scout who's going to summer camp for the first time. Level 2 is a second, third, and fourth, etc. And older scouts, of course, should be able to handle those third and fourth level merit badges without a problem. Some of them are ranked higher because they require a better study habit. Some of them are ranked higher because they require more motor skills or upper body strength. But a combination of those things lends to why these merit badges are ranked this way. Feel free to reach out to myself and Linnea if you want clarification, if you're not sure about any specific cases. Leaders and scouts who have been to our camp in the past should also be able to lend a hand in this kind of information. We've got a few new programs, but the majority of the merit badges we offer, we have been offering for many years. Any questions about the rankings? We have an even more in-depth packet called the Merit Badge Guide, I believe, on our website that will give you even more info about each badge and who we recommend to sign up for each badge. The next sheet is a prerequisite form. You'll notice that there's only a couple of merit badges mentioned in the center of this form that you need to fill out this prerequisite form for if you want to leave with a complete merit badge. Now, if you're interested in getting a partial listed requirements that we won't be able to do in camp, so they can leave with a signed, completed merit badge record with us. These are the 3 that we offer that we cannot complete just in camp. There are those listed requirements must be done outside of camp. It doesn't matter to us if they're done before or after, but if they're done after, they're going to leave with a partial from us. Yeah. If they're done before, they should bring this form signed. And they can even bring a manual blue card as well, but it's easier. I do want to mention, while talking about prerequisites, an effort that we've taken from the camp to make sure that all scouts have opportunities to take the badges that they have the best possibility of finishing. If that didn't make sense, I'm referring specifically to our waterfront badges. What we've got in place to make sure that our waterfront merit badges don't get too many signups is we ask that in order to sign up for our waterfront merit badges that your scouts already have the swimming merit badge. This is for a few reasons. Number one, we feel confident that if your scouts don't have the swimming merit badge coming into Emerald Bay, that we are one of the best places in the world for them to do the swimming merit badge. We have incredibly qualified staff members, lifeguards, who will work one-on-one in free time to do swim lessons. They'll take scouts through all of that particular programming. If you don't have swimming, get it at Emerald Bay. If you don't have swimming, get it before you do our motorboating, canoeing, kayaking, merit badges, etc. Because we want you to be comfortable in the ocean and swimming before you go out and do one of these boating merit badges. You do not have to have the swimming merit badge to do those extracurriculars. I'm saying that we ask that you don't sign up for the more advanced waterfront badges without it, because in addition to safety, we're concerned of class size. We'd rather have these scouts do swimming with us and have a big swimming class than have too many people in the motorboating merit badge, so older scouts can't take those merit badges because they're too impacted. So take swimming first. You don't have to have it before you come to camp. We will, it allows you to do waterfront activities at camp, but we recommend that you have the swimming merit badge, and we ask that you don't sign up for more advanced waterfront badges without having swimming first. For scuba, it's actually a requirement to have the swimming merit badge, to have it before you get the scuba, I believe. Right. And the scuba swim test is instead of the basic swim test. It will certify them to swim throughout the week at camp. They don't have to do both. Right. There is more prerequisite information based on our shooting sports merit badges. It's quite self-explanatory here. We do not vary from NRA training and the merit badge worksheets and pamphlets for the shooting sports merits badges, except in the fact that we have additional supervision and instruction on the ranges, and we have 16 station rifle and archery ranges, which are historically the biggest ranges that you can find. Some people assume that archery is going to be easier than rifle and shotgun shooting because it's not a firearm. That's not necessarily true. It requires a lot of motor function and self-control and focus. So that's why most of the shooting sports merit badges are ranked in that level 4. There are physical shooting requirements in addition to education that all scouts have to complete before they can earn those merit badges. Just keep that in mind with the maturity and focus of your scouts going into any shooting sports badges. This is a really, do you have any questions about prerequisites or any of our expectations signing up for badges? The next page is a big one. It is a huge resource. It is what we expect every scout and parent to see in the next couple of weeks. Our recommendation to you guys, scout leaders, registrants, is to distribute this form to all your scouts. Whether you do it in paper at one of your meetings or you send it in an email as an assignment for the parents to complete with their scouts, fill out this form based on the merit badge guide that we talked about, the levels 1 through 4 recommendations that we provide. Fill this out as soon as possible so the registrant yourselves can put the merit badge information into Double Knot. You'll notice a lot of stuff on this page. Merit badge, all the times that any particular merit badge is offered. So the gray boxes mean nothing. The white boxes are where we offer those particular merit badges. You'll notice the sessions across the top and all the merit badges listed across the left, down the left column. I want to point out a couple of interesting things from this page. On the right side of the page, you see a lot of information that I've already said, and you see a lot of new information. Those are all extra points that you need to know per every individual merit badge. Some badges, like in the handicraft section, require the scouts to buy a small project that costs between $5 and $20. Leatherworking project, wood carving sticks, basketry, pottery, etc. They will have to expect when signing up for those badges to bring that much extra cash so they can get those projects. And the reason for that is so they can choose what they like to make. We're not going to just hand them a project and say, you have to carve an arrow. There's all kinds of options. They get to choose and make a transaction with our trading post in the beginning of those class sessions. It also says things like those recommendations for experience, merit badges to earn before signing up for others, and some age requirements and recommendations, all on that right side there. So that way the family can see this, the scouts can see it, and everyone's on the same page signing up. I'm going to start the conversation of adult activities at this point. You might be thinking, man, we're on this big trip to an awesome, beautiful beach, and we're just going to be watching these scrub scouts all day. But in reality, we have an incredible amount of opportunities for leaders. For one, based on this page, any program that says BSA instead of MB for merit badge is something that adults can sign up for as well. So we ask that you don't plan on participating and signing up in the merit badge classes, but we offer things like BSA lifeguard and BSA aquarist, naturalist, kayak or paddleboarding, snorkeling. All of those things adults participate in regularly. Some classes you'll see noted on here are just for adults. But all those BSA awards can be earned by adult leaders as well as scouts. Some of them require that you show up to your class every day while you're in camp, other than War Canoe. Others, like BSA Snorkel and any others? Others like Day One, and your instructor will tell you how many more times you have to come to class and what other things you have to do to earn that award. The BSA awards broadly, not necessarily. Some of them have just as much curriculum as merit badges, and some are much easier. So you'll just have to, figure that out as you sign up. But again, we recommend adult leaders to participate in BSA awards. They are open to all. At the very bottom, you'll notice that we have a scuba diving section where none of the boxes are white. And that is because you've already been informed that for those programs, you're going to sign up and create your schedule with the Malibu Divers staff. And it represents the fact that they really will work with you. They're not magicians, but they will do their best to try to fit around your schedule and provide you with an awesome scuba opportunity. You'll notice that some of these sessions have double white boxes, and that's because you've got to be there for 2 sessions. That means you're going to arrive to class and it'll take longer than most others. For example, that is BSA lifeguard, sailing, and pottery, namely, as well as BSA oceanographer, that take 2 sessions each day. And just to reel back before I move on, I recommend you distribute this to all your scouts and get it turned in so you can put in the information, sign people up for merit badges between March 1st and the beginning of camp. Use this resource. There is a PDF of just this available on our website. Excellent. I am actually, before I move on to the program planner, I do want to say that we have added a couple of merit badges to the queue. In the last 2 years, we added geocaching merit badge. It's not very difficult from a curriculum standpoint. It does require a bit of moving around our part of Catalina. It's adventurous, and we offer it out of the Scoutcraft area for just session 6, which is after dinner. So for those scouts who want to get an extra couple of badges, make sure they're looking in those 5th and 6th session columns. That's where you're going to see opportunities like geocaching. And we've also added the bird study merit badge to session 1 in 2019. It's the first time we will be offering bird study out of the nature area. That program is going to be real special. We think that the study of birds is really relevant. The scouts who are signed up for bird study may actually go on a field trip instead of participating in War Canoe with the rest of their troop. The idea is that we want to send them to Avalon to visit a bird exhibit and get a little bit more exposure to the rest of the island. So check out bird study. It's going to be unique. It's only offered first session, and it's likely going to have a field trip associated where scouts get to leave camp with our instructors, and they'll potentially miss the War Canoe program. But it's exciting, and it's kind of born out of a new partnership with the Island Company, trying to expand the the bird study theme on the island. We get more migrating birds to Catalina than you could ever imagine. It's an incredible place to watch. We see birds of prey, we see all kinds of migratory small birds, and everything in between. So it's a really cool opportunity. We do have some more info on it later on. As you continue flipping through the packet with me, you'll see our program planner. This is a snapshot of the entire week. I'm not going to run through the entire week with you, but I will tell you that this is one that leaders and scouts with leadership positions should carry, if not everyone, for the entire week of camp. This one tells you when to report to meals, when to report to certain merit badge sessions, and when we have extra meetings and activities that aren't displayed anywhere else. Most of the information on here will be announced in camp over our loudspeaker, or you'll be helped ushered through these programs with our staff ranger. I haven't highlighted this concept yet today, so I want to take a quick second to say that each troop who comes to Emerald Bay is going to have a staff member assigned to their troop who's not a merit badge counselor. This staff member's responsibility is literally to help make sure you get the most out of Emerald Bay. They're going to take you on small trips in the afternoons. They're going to host you through the entire War Canoe event, and they're also going to be that #1 contact with your SPL to promote boy leadership in camp, scout leadership in camp, and to make sure that you know when opportunities are being offered so you don't miss out. The key to this program is your scouts getting in contact with this ranger immediately in camp and using them to their full potential. There's a meeting on Sunday where we don't invite the leaders, the adult leaders, to go. This is a meeting between the SPL of your troop or SPLs and your staff ranger who you've been assigned. This is when they're going to sign up for extra little things in camp. Things like barbecuing on the beach instead of having dinner in the dining hall one night, going on a mountain bike trip, going out paddleboarding in between sessions. So please make sure that your SPL is ready to meet with the ranger and knows what kind of activities like that the troop is going to want to get into. The meeting will happen after dinner on Arrival Day Sunday, and it really fills in the programming at Emerald Bay. Scan through the rest of this sheet on your own, and you will see lots of leader opportunities here, lots of required leader meetings, and other things that we want everyone to know about who's coming into camp. In addition to all those recreational opportunities we've mentioned for leaders, the BSA awards, doing free time activities in general, we also have trainings that we offer, specifically outdoor leadership training and leader-specific Scoutmaster and Assistant Scoutmaster specific training. These are two separate trainings that together give an adult leader that trained status. Again, two separate trainings, we offer them both. One is offered out of the Scoutcraft area, Outdoor Leadership Skills, Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Skills. And that's a session that you have to attend all week except for your War Canoe Day. You'll see it at around 2 p.m. on this calendar. And then we have the adult specific training, which you'll see around 9 a.m. that you'll have to report only 2 sessions a week throughout the week to complete that training both online and in person with our head commissioner. So we have lots of things for leaders to do. Don't hesitate to reach out to us or to feel like you should be doing fun and informative things while you're at camp. The next page is really full of information. It's just like the program planner. We want you to carry it around. It has all kinds of information for leaders, youth leaders, and everyone else who's going to camp. This one lists some of the daily events and programming that our staff will put on for you. In the top left quadrant, talks about meals, where to go, extracurriculars, song and dance type things that the staff will do for you or will perform for you, and expectations of moving through camp normally. Just below that on the left side, it's more logistic. We talk about a lot of things that happen on Arrival Day Sunday and on Departure Day Friday and Saturday at the end of your week. So check out the logistical one specifically so you leaders have good info that you can share with the troop. The top right quadrant talks a little bit about some of the extra activities that you can do and earn patches for in camp. We call these rockers or participation achievements, things that you just go do during camp, and then at the end of the week, Scouts honor, your leaders just say how many people did each activity. Everyone who goes to camp is going to get an Emerald Bay patch, a round 3-inch patch included in their registration fee. And these activities like Sea Lion Swim, Buffalo Run, Mile Swim, mountain biking, snorkeling, those things that aren't specifically merit badge classes, you can choose to purchase those patches from us if you participate, and we'll distribute them to you at the end of the week. They're meant to go around your Emerald Bay patch that you get and just signify some of the cool stuff you did outside of the merit badge program. I have gone through a heck of a lot on this page. Did anyone see anything, or was there anything that anyone got caught up on through this information? We do love the Order of the Arrow, and we have a Wednesday evening Order of the Arrow activity. Those of you who are in the Order of the Arrow, please feel free to bring your sash and wear it with your field uniform on Wednesday. We'll do a small service project and have a little award or activity for those of you who are in the Order of the Arrow. In the lower right quadrant here are more specific and mandatory leader meetings and opportunities. Just check that out. We will make announcements throughout the week. We have meetings on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that we ask at least one leader to participate in. This is where you're going to touch base with Linnea, our head commissioner, and myself, so we can make sure you have everything you need to get through your week or get home from your week in one piece. We've gotten a lot of feedback at these meetings. We invite your feedback and your questions at any time. We do have full-time camping staff built around Emerald Bay, a business director, myself and Linnea, and a registrar, as well as the support staff here at the West LA office. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. First email, so we can answer your questions, send you information, and try to help you out. And if you need to, of course, we have direct phone numbers and extensions. Please do not call Emerald Bay specifically during the springtime. It's best to call the main office here. We will update where we are as Linnea and I move back and forth between working in the office here and out at camp. We're really getting there. I really appreciate everyone's patience. I want to talk about something that somehow I jumped over in the what to bring, and I don't feel like I highlighted it enough. I think I got caught up in program. Something that's incredibly important at Emerald Bay, probably just as important as staying hydrated and carrying a water bottle, is your foot gear, your shoes. You need to bring solid shoes, at least at the tennis shoe level, closer to the hiking boot level for your normal activities, and especially if you're in the Rugged E program. You've got to have at least a cross-trainer tennis shoe or a hiking boot if you're in the Rugged E program, and we recommend it moving through camp in general. Skateboarding shoes and things like that that don't have support or don't have good soles are not recommended for these scouting activities. Everybody's going to hike a little bit. Everybody's going to going to mountain bike a little bit. So we're going tennis shoe, hiking boot range for your everyday wearer. We also, you must also bring water shoes. Again, you must bring water shoes. The prevailing environment is a pebbly beach, not a sandy beach. So as you're going into the water for your canoeing class or for war canoe or for any of your waterfront merit badges, you've got to have something to protect the bottom of your foot. Flip-flops are not recommended. They are not banned from camp, but they are not recommended. From me, my favorite water shoe to use is a Teva or Chaco style strapping sandal. After that, using a water sock or traditional water shoe like we've had for decades is probably nearly as effective. But with a full cover water shoe, you'll end up with sand and rocks inside your shoe, and it may be uncomfortable. So a strapping sandal is best, followed by a water shoe, and then a less supportive sandal if that's all you have. So please bring a sturdy shoe and a water shoe. You cannot get away with only one of those things. You've got to have both, a sturdy shoe and a water shoe. Do you have any recommendations as a scout leader? And
So our troop,
sun protection, hydration, water shoe, sturdy shoe. These are the things that you need. You also need some sort of bedding. We have cots and mattresses for you. We do not have sleeping bags or sheets for you. So if it's not already clear, you've got to bring a sleeping bag, maybe a pillow if that's what you need to be comfortable. But at the very least, a sleeping bag or an adequate bedroll. The temperature at Emerald Bay will be between the mid-high 50s and the mid-low 90s the entire time you're there. It's not going to get freezing, and it's not going to get 100, please. But it's medium to hot, and sun protection is a must. But you don't need a below 40 sleeping bag or anything like that. I've jumped around a little here at the end, mostly because I'm trying to anticipate questions. But what questions do you all have at this point where we are in the meeting? Yeah.
I have two questions. One question is campership. Is the campership allowed for only scouts who are in the Western LA County Council only, or is it open to anybody, any scout who attends camp?
That's a great question. Our campership program is big and growing every year, and it is available for scouts in West LA Council and out of council. The only difference is that we may provide a little bit less money for those out of council scouts, and that's just because the donors this money comes from are interested in serving this community. But we do have camperships available. We still have camperships available for in and out of council scouts. With that said, we do not award campership dollars to adults. Just to clarify, for youth, if you have a special case, reach out to us. There's real people on this side. When you send in a campership request, our registrar sees it, Linnea sees it, I see it. We'll read the letter that you share. We'll see your application. We will take into consideration any information you want to share. We do have campership funds still available. Please do not let the price of camp keep any of your scouts from coming. We traditionally can provide up to about 30% of the camp cost for out of council scouts in campership, and even more for in council. So please apply. It's not too late. Even if you've already made payments, we can still help you with campership dollars if it'll help scouts get to camp.
Second question.
Yeah. I want to talk about a couple of special programs that Linnea reminded me of. These are not afterthoughts. These are really, really cool opportunities. Number one is that in addition to our BSA lifeguard program, we are offering American Red Cross training built in. This is brand new. It's part of our effort to give scouts and leaders something that can be used outside of the scouting program. So those of you who sign up for our BSA lifeguard training now have the option to earn the American Red Cross lifeguard and CPR certification within that course. It's a lot of work, but it's a really awesome opportunity. And again, it's a really good value for the price. We estimate that it's going to cost just $75 extra to get American Red Cross certified along with your BSA lifeguard. It's going to be that same 2-session class that we've offered BSA lifeguard in the past, because a lot of the training and programming is very similar. There will be some extracurriculars and extra responsibilities built in. We're going to use those American Red Cross trainees as lifeguards in our War Canoe program and across the camp. So be prepared to help serve the camp while building that training. But that's an awesome new opportunity, brand new for 2019. Both scouts and leaders can sign up. Another thing in that same vein is what I started mentioning with our new bird study merit badge, and that is an opportunity to go and visit Avalon as an alternative to our War Canoe program. This is a really limited first come, first serve trial type situation. We're only going to be able to provide this program for maybe 35 to 50 people any given day of our summer program. But let me clarify that what I mentioned about visiting Avalon as a field trip for Bird Study Merit Badge will also be offered as a troop activity to replace War Canoe. Again, first come, first serve. Maybe 1 or 2 troops as we begin this program and this partnership with the Catalina Island Company, celebrating 100 years of William Wrigley's ownership of the majority of Santa Catalina Island. So we've got a contract, or we're working on a contract to use a speedboat to get troops into Avalon and participate in this awesome program, check out the museum in the city, and do a little bit more civic activities, if you will. So that's an awesome opportunity that we're only going to have a few troops, I think, each week who can do it, but we're hopefully going to build it in the future. And lastly, we are going to open up pre-orders for our 2019 Emerald Bay Camper T-shirt. This is going to be a unique situation because we've got multiple T-shirts that we sell at camp that aren't branded with any particular year. So when you go to camp, you'll see the T-shirt that Mr. Powell's wearing over here. It's again a Emerald Bay Camper T-shirt. It's going to be sold in the $10 to $15 range. We've got another, that blue one that's not marked with any years, that's going to be in the same $15 range. But if you want one specifically that's just available this year for 2019, we're going to have an online only T-shirt order for this 2019 camper shirt. We might have a few in camp, but the idea is that we're selling these to large groups and troops in advance so they can be shipped to camp for you. And you can have the design of this shirt will be up on the order form on our website by the end of this week when we open up Merit Badge signups. This is a kind of a new thing. We want to try to sell some shirts in advance so we don't have tons of lines at our trading post and whatnot in the beginning and end of the week to deal with that shirt and the inventory of that shirt. So the design will be online. If you want the 2019 camper shirt specifically, you've got to pre-order it. Otherwise, we do have 2 versions of Emerald Bay Camper T-shirts in the store at camp that are in the same price range, around $15. I do want to talk about one more really fun thing. We added a flyer on the back of the packet here for some really cool extra handicraft opportunities. We've got an alumni who's a very skilled carver, wood carver and painter. His name is Tom Wilson, and he has been helping us build the wood carving program for years. But specifically this year, we're going to be offering an extra opportunity to get a lot better carving done through our handicraft program. Specifically, we're going to have Dremels available for Scouts 14 and up, and Scouts and leaders who want to get a lot more serious in their wood carving. If you're looking at our packet, you'll see some of the really cool neckerchief slides that Tom and some of his staff and Scout students have carved and painted. Incredible detail, way more than just a canoe, neckerchief slide. We're talking beautiful fish, sharks, pirates, island foxes. It's just an opportunity to go above and beyond. Part of the reason why we offer Merit Badges and Scouts is for youth to get some occupational interests. The handicraft area is a huge place for that. Wood carving, art, painting, we have a pottery program. These are really cool occupational experience opportunities for Scouts. If you've got Scouts who don't like to get in the water, they should still come to Emerald Bay. We have over 30 Merit Badges. We have, I think, 9 or 10 science-based Merit Badges, earth science. And we've also got handicraft and Scoutcraft Merit Badges that can serve that occupational interest, get Scouts interested in something new, and find new talents that they have. We have opportunities for leaders to throw on pottery wheels and to glaze and fire their own pieces in camp. Please reach out to every area that we have in camp while you're there and see what special opportunities they have for you in addition to Merit Badges. Yeah, if you have a question, please.
Well, so earlier you had said for the adults, the leaders, that when they sign up for things, that they would not be in the MD activities. but all the handicraft ones have been beat, so.
So with those specifically, there during the free times, the 5th and 6th sessions, that area will be open for drop-ins. So we don't want people to drop in at 5th and 6th to try to earn merit badges. We want scouts and leaders who want to play, who want to make something with their hands, to go in there and check in with the staff. So that's all possible in the Scoutcraft and Handicraft area. And as we come to a close, please think of questions for me. Notice that the last page of the packet has hard contact information for all of our full-time administrators. Please, again, use email primarily, and we won't necessarily be using the camp phone number that's on top until we get closer to the dates of camp. Oh, yes, perfect. So I will talk. I was expecting some more direct questions about this, and the cool thing is with the addition of female scouts into the BSA program, we have planned to change a few things as far as restroom and campsite administration. But to be honest, Camp Emerald Bay has been hosting young women for decades. Our staff is made up of at least 20% females. Example A, Linnea herself has been on staff for I think 13 summers, and we've been serving Venture Scouts, Sea Scouts, and occasionally Girl Scouts and other YMCA and youth serving organizations throughout the year in our camp. So this isn't going to be a humongous change. Inviting female scouts to Emerald Bay really just feels like, hooray, the national organization has finally caught up to us here on the West Coast, because we have been hosting young women in camp, and we are really looking forward to them having the opportunity to become Eagle Scouts. That's a huge part of what we want out of this program. We want to get those young women into the advancement track ASAP. We have young women who we employ who are excited to help your new scouts achieve whatever they can in the time that they have. Yeah.
So technical question. So we have a charter organization.
Yep.
They just announced Friday that they're going to go to Wichita, which is awesome. But I know that there was chatter between at least 3 of the 5 that wanted to go to Emerald Bay, possibly with us. How does that work with our reservation?
So we'll ask that they are in a separate reservation, because from the national organization, the female troops are still separate troops, whether they're brother sister troops with existing, it doesn't actually matter. In that situation, I recommend going the provisional scout route. If you can come up with an adult leader to bring a couple of scouts out, beautiful. If you can't, email us directly, fill out a special request form. We want to get those scouts into camp, and we'll build a troop around them. We're going to have troops with female scouts in camp every week, I anticipate. Yeah, so you do. So if there's some that can come with that small contingency, we ask that they still sign up separately from your troop. And that's just so we can assign the campsites and the bathrooms correctly, and so we can make sure on our end we're administering everything the way that we should. But all of our bathrooms in camp, all of our toilets have individually locking exterior doors. Our first bathroom facility, all of our showers have separate exterior locking doors to individual shower stalls. In the mid-camp and back of camp, our shower facilities have 4 showers to a corridor with an exterior locking door, where we'll determine one door for females and 1 door for males. Aside from that, the program is going to be together. Everybody's going to be enjoying the same programmatical experience, merit badge experience. Young women can join our rugged programs and are certainly implored to join those rugged programs, especially if you've got older female scouts who are just getting started. If they don't care to do the advancement portion of the BSA program, get them out there kicking butt in some of our really cool adventure programs. That's what they've been doing at Emerald Bay in the past anyway. We've had young women come out and do ruggedy and do scuba already. So we're totally ready for that. We look forward to it. And we invite feedback and questions and recommendations from anyone who is experiencing this change or can help us adapt a little bit. But again, we feel really prepared for it. We've had women in camp already. So we're just excited that we're going to have a much bigger group of scouts now. That was an online question. I know that sounded really random, but someone was looking for clarification there. I am at the end of new ideas and information to share with you. So before I just go into a Q&A, and we might end up even stopping the feed here, I just want to thank everyone. We had about 20 plus leaders down in Orange County this morning. We did the same meeting for them, and we've had an average of 25 people watching online, and the group of you here. I know what all of you are doing to make this happen for your scouts. We are here. We are resources. Please do not feel alone. If there's information that you need, assistance that you need, please email us, call us. camping@bsa-la.org for registration. Linnea's direct email, my direct email that are provided on the website and in this packet. Again, we're full-time employees of the Boy Scouts, and we're interested in answering your questions and getting you out to camp prepared and safely. So at this point, unless you want to jump in with anything I missed, Linnea,
No, I think I have them.
I just want to take some questions, and if we have kind of gone beyond our expected meeting time, so if you've got to go, I understand. All those of you out there in the internet, thank you for being patient with the technical difficulties. I know I stalled out at least 5 times. We'll try to put something that's consumable out there on the internet to stay in about a week. Again, my name's Scott. I want to help your scouts get to camp. I love the campership question here. We're totally approving camperships to get scouts and families who don't necessarily have the means to get to camp. We still have funds from our great donor sources here in West LA and beyond to help all kinds of people get out to camp who may not come because of the price. We know we're expensive, but we want to offer the opportunity for everyone. Great. Any questions in-house?
No.
We were thorough. Beautiful.
It was right in the beginning.
We
Yeah.
don't actually have a ham radio that we operate with any of the visitors in camp. We do have some ham radio authorities in camp, so I can direct those people to our head commissioner. Thank you. To our head commissioner, Rod, once they're in camp, but we don't have programming built around him out there. All right. Excellent.
Thank you to everybody that was giving me the heads up on sound and letting us know if you could hear, if we were cutting out, and helping me with these questions. Thank you guys for attending.
Academy Awards have started, so thank you guys. Oh, I apologize.